How do some athletes ascend to become a GOAT? Now, if you don't know what a GOAT is, I certainly didn't until about a year ago. GOAT is the greatest of all time in your field. What I believe helps an athlete ascend to this level of recognition, ability, any way you want to categorize them, what helps them become a GOAT is humility. They recognize that they have elite powers as far as accomplishments, and they recognize they have elite skills that comes through hours of practice. One of my favorite GOATs of all time is Simone Biles. If you don't know her background in regards to her family and what happened to her while she was in the Olympics, let me share with you, she is back. And I have included an amazing clip of a video that just gives me cold chills to watch one of her floor routines. She is so accomplished as an Olympic athlete, as a gymnast, as a human being, that they have named a flip, a turn, I don't know what you call it in gymnastic language, but it's not just a routine. She created this specific flip in the gymnastic world, and it's called the Biles. Another aspect about her that you may not know, she was raised by foster parents. A very loving atmosphere, a very loving and supportive family for her, which allowed her, of course, to become who she is. And again, it's her humility that strikes you when you learn so many things about her. Not only is she humble, and she has used her imagination to make these totally creative gymnastic routines that has helped her ascend to one of the greatest athletes in our lifetime. Watch this video because this is her most recent, and you just are awestruck because, again, she's done like 3 or 4 flips in one routine that are, and the height that she reaches. She's a little girl. She's not very tall. I think 5'1" or 5'2". Just a powerful little muscle that she is. So she was raised in this amazingly loving family of foster parents who love her dearly, and she loves them dearly as though they're her real parents. But she was also, unfortunately, with other female gymnasts, sexually abused by Nasser. And, I feel terrible, but I think he got killed. I mean, it sounds horrible, but yeah, I think justice was served while he was in jail. But to know that here she is coming back, just a powerhouse in this video, this short video that I have on my podcast details, to know that she grew up with this amazing, loving family, and then she had to go through fire and brimstone with this horrible gymnast coach. But here she is fighting all odds again, and she's not even fighting. This is her love. This is her love to be creative and have imagination, and she's humble as a goat. Watch that video clip. Another person who's in baseball, many of you know I love baseball, and I've been covering baseball over the summer, the funny parts, is a gentleman, I couldn't find his name, but he hit a foul ball, but it went out of the stadium over the rooftop. And this was 400 feet plus. Imagine that. This guy hits a baseball. He's up to bat. He hits it 450 feet out of the ballpark. He doesn't, it's foul. The announcers are just, they can't even keep their excitement down. They're just absolutely nonplussed. The other aspect is that it was 114 miles per hour. That hurts. Who wants to catch a ball that's going that speed? He is so humble on this video. It's almost as though he just shrugs off his superhuman skill to hit a baseball without even trying, it looks like. Because, who hits a foul ball 450 feet out of the stadium at 114 miles per hour? Again, this is a person, a could not find his name, but I'm pretty sure by looking at the uniform, he is a team member of the White Sox. I kept looking everywhere to try to find his name. Young guy, somewhat new to the baseball energy. I'm going to say probably he's got 3 or 4 years in it. Again, here's someone whose imagination and creativity defies logic, and he's also humble. So check out his video also. Just that's what this is about. How do we become goats in our everyday life or in our lifetime? Greatest of all time. There you go. With Kundalini Yoga, yes, I practice it every day. But I wanted to share with you some other things that I practice and some other websites to which I subscribe. I have mentioned Tut. That's really like King Tut. There's this website called tut.com, and I put it on my podcast details. And I've mentioned to you folks, I really think it'd be great if you signed up. I get nothing for this, but I love this guy's, I love his emails that he sends to us. They're spiritual, but in a fun way, and they're funny and in an inspirational way. He always has little action steps you can take every day, but they're very lighthearted. I had mentioned that when you go on to his website, he's going to ask you a few questions, and then they specifically send you daily aspirations, I guess it's one way to look at it, that relate to exactly who you are and what your goals are in life. Here's something, and in the emails, they come back, they're sent out to you a note from the universe. I mean, how cool is that? A note from the universe. You always open them because, well, you want the universe to talk to you, don't you? And guide you, don't you? So here's his last one that I received. It reads this: relax, breathe in deep, hold it, let it out, loosen your shoulders, smile, close your eyes, and you'll be surprised, dear Valerie, by how many voices you'll hear whispering sweet encouragement into your ear. Isn't that a great thing to read first thing in the morning? Then he signs it, kissy, 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 you can do it, the universe. How fun is that? I started practicing a couple of months ago on how to lower my blood pressure. I find it amazing that I have high blood pressure, but there it is. I do. This is Qigong. I don't do it all the time, but I definitely do it 2 or 3 times a week. You can actually do it before you go to bed. I do that a lot too because, we all have rough days, don't we? So check out the video for Qigong. All the things on my podcast are free. There's no selling going on here. You can reach out to me anytime. I'm not going to charge you a consultation call fee, which I'm starting to see a lot of people do, which I think is BS. Lastly, wine. There is a trend. Well, this has been going on for a century in France with a specific Bordeaux vineyard. To have your client to whom you are distributing your wines, this example is a Bordeaux producer who's been selling to the Belgian market for over a century, his whole family. The Bordeaux producers go back really hundreds of years. There is a newsletter that I have suggested to folks called 750, and that link is on my podcast too under the wine segment. There is a trend because people are realizing that glass, as in all the glass bottles we use, are leaving a very serious carbon footprint. This specific Bordeaux family have been sending their wine bottles, to the Belgian market, requesting they must return them with their next order. And the proprietor of this specific Bordeaux vineyard says, yes, we still have to clean and wash them, do certain things to make them acceptable, again, as far as sterilizing them. But we're not buying new bottles because bottle making is expensive. There actually is a shortage of glass because it is an expensive process. Well, check that out because that's another thing to think about in your world of consumption. The less glass you can use The less plastic you can use, the better off we're going to be. As human beings, as individuals, you really can make a difference in your own carbon footprint. I sold my car during lockdown. I am very lucky to live in an area where I can seriously bike everywhere. I bike across the street to see one of my marketing clients. I do this every day. And if I need a car, I borrow my friend's Subaru, which I've had for 10 or 15 years I drove Subarus. Just think of little things like that you can help the environment also every day. Quit driving your car everywhere. To wrap this up, why do some people actually aspire to become a goat, the greatest of all time? And that just means in your community, give it some thought, try being humble, use your imagination, be creative. We were actually put on this earth to be creative. Yes, we were, and to serve others. Check out my links for Qigong and also the really nice Note from a Universe. It's free. Everything on my podcast is free. I'm not here to sell you folks anything. Also, read this article from this great newsletter it's written for the industry, but it's written for the everyday consumer too. The newsletter is called 750. Link is on my podcast. To wrap this up, I have been creating my podcast. I'm at 158 podcasts now. I created during the lockdown. Really, the mission is to help people improve their mindset, change their mindset. As Price Pritchett says, tap down the negative. I have studied with Bob Proctor, Mary Morrissey, all the gurus. And honestly, Price Pritchett is probably one of my absolute favorite. You're always going to get links to their information, never to sell. If you ever need me, you can send me all kinds of contact information. It's always in my favorite things. My favorite things does include some classes. So you're more than welcome to click on that. And if you want more information, you will know how to find me in that contact information segment. Merci. Au revoir.